bitches, it's me, voiceover Amy, and I thought I would try this out as I narrate what I'm doing, making this meditation, anti-anxiety spell jar for myself. It's just something that I definitely need in my life right now, and so I thought that I would just talk about what I'm doing here. So first, I'm adding some sand that I actually collected from the beach when we were up in Wisconsin, staying at a little lakeside property for the Fellowship of Northern Traditions Wisconsin Ostara gathering. And so before we left, I just collected a little bit of sand this time instead of my usual water or ashes from the fire. I think I might have gotten some ashes too, but I just figured this would make a nice calming, grounding, positive energy, earth-like base. Next, I'm adding pink Himalayan salt just for that good, purifying, cleansing energy. And because it's pretty. I kind of wanted to make this, also look aesthetically pleasing to the eye. And here I'm going back and adding more salt, and there goes a classic Loki maneuver right there. So this is a little Godric Gryffindor letter opener, and I kind of use it as a mini little athame of sorts. And in this case, I'm using it to just kind of poke things around in there, get them leveled off and situated. Next, I'm just adding some lavender flower buds. These are just pre-packaged dried ones that I had bought a while back for candle making and spells and the like. And like I said, aesthetically, I just really wanted this to almost look like sand art in a jar, like you used to make when you were a kid, and just really not only put thought into the ingredients, but also the colors and how I was layering them. So next I have this little bag of tiny crystals and gems, some quartz points, and some turquoise. Turquoise to me just really represents calm water and earth energy, and just emotional grounding, which is definitely what you want in a calm, meditative, anti-anxiety spell. So I'm just carefully placing those inside. I kind of wanted them to be peeking out from the flowers. Speaking of flowers, next I'm actually putting some chamomile in here. Chamomile and chamomile tea are known to be a very calming herb that you might drink before bedtime or just when you're having some frayed nerves and things like that. So I am just very carefully and aesthetically layering them in here. Just speed this up real quick. I'm adding more chamomile, carefully rearranging the buds so that they are pleasing to the eye. Next I have some plants and crystals that were just kind of cleansing and charging on my little selenite plate. Putting in these cute little amethyst bead type things. I think they were just called crystal confetti. And then I also have what I think is aventurine here. I was just kind of grabbing whatever from the crystal confetti bin that I thought maybe I could identify or just, was giving off a good vibe. So next I have what I think is a tiny little amazonite, or at least that's what it looks like to me with the light green color, and then a little piece of lapis. Lapis to me is also a very emotionally soothing stone, especially for the more sad or depressive emotions. And then last there I was just putting in what almost kind of looked like some sunstone to me. And then next I'm putting in some fresh sprigs of lavender and lavender flower from the little plant that I just recently planted in the front bed of my yard in my last vlog video. And from the backyard I selected a nice little clover flower. Just seemed like something pretty calming, you know, from my own backyard, full of good earth and land spirit energy and my own home energy. And then, much like the lavender, I'm also including this little sprig of salvia from the salvia plant, which is kind of, I think, a member of or related to sage, which is also just a good, powerful, magical, and calming herb. I was really trying to keep the little lavender bud intact and make it visible, but it was getting a little tightly packed in there at this point. But yeah, that finishes up the actual contents of the spell jar there. I think it turned out really good. Thanks to Loki, I put way more pink salt in there than I wanted to. I originally wanted to have a lot more room in there for the crystals and the flowers at the top, but it is what it is. And then here at the top, once I sealed it with the cork, I actually ended up taking the incense stick, and after I kind of did another little smoke cleanse with the incense, for some reason I was just compelled to burn the shape of the Lagos rune in the top, which stands for just water, and to me just symbolizes like being calm, being zen, going with the flow. And for the seal on the top, I didn't wrap any twine around it this time. I don't know why. I just think I wanted to keep as much of the pretty ingredients exposed and showing as possible. And then here, instead of like a wax melt, I'm actually using some leftover wax from some long taper candles that I burned at a Freya altar at the Heathen Head Witch Coven's Beltane retreat. So it just had all that like Freya energy left in it, and the wax had made like some really cool shapes, and I just didn't have the heart to throw it away, and I thought I would just incorporate some of that energy and power into the spell jar, and it was just kind of a calm, blue, watery, pleasing and calming color to me. I just kind of chose the colors for the wax seal intuitively off the top of my head, based on what I thought of as calming. So I just kept layering this blue wax over the top until I thought I had a good enough seal, a thick enough layer built up. So I picked out one of my favorite little wax seals, and then a little quartz crystal stone, polished quartz stone that we picked up on a trip. And then here I'm trying to just melt a stick of like melting or sealing wax to add some white on top. Like I said, just chose these colors based on my own intuition and what felt the most calming to me. I just kind of was thinking of blue skies, big, happy, fluffy clouds, as Bob Ross would say. My only issue with this stick of wax is that, like, I've never used this type before, and so I don't know if I was just not using a proper technique or what, but the flame was kind of burning the wax a little bit too much and adding some, like, char or blackness into the white, which I didn't like, so I stopped using that and just switched to using the regular little wax melts that I have used and usually used for these types of things in the past. You know, I was trying to just use and choose most of these ingredients based on my own personal preferences, what I could find, what I had, and what just kind of resonated symbolically with me personally. But like I said, I think one of the things Freya appreciates about me is that I do put some thought and care into the aesthetics of it all. I want things to look artistically pleasing. Now I'm just going back in with that stamp that I had selected. I knew it probably wouldn't be too visible once I put the quartz, polished quartz on top, but I thought it might be cool if you could kind of see it through the glassy effect of the stone. And so I put a little bit more of this wax kind of around the edge, just so as like a kind of glue, or tried to anyway. But Loki interfered again and had something to say about that. I think I ended up just kind of using some actual glue to make sure that it would stay on there. That's the finished product, you guys. This is my meditation, Zen mindset, anti-anxiety spell jar. Until next time, stay classy, pagans.